Hey guys, MCU Collector here with video number 7 in the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Avengers GamerVerse Abomination Build-A-Figure wave. We have Captain America. There is no Build-A-Figure piece for this figure, so I think it's going to be a pass for a lot of you guys. I, for one, actually don't even like the character design in the video game. I know some people like it. They have that SWAT look to them. I don't like it. I don't like the way the figure looks, but I don't have it in my hand to really tell you for sure exactly what I think of it. Pharaoh Black posted some pictures on Instagram and made the figure look amazing, so maybe I'm really going to like it when I open it up. We'll take a look here in a minute. Avengers video game logo there, GamerVerse logo up top, Build-A-Figure Abomination. Side panel looking the exact same as the Ms. Marvel and Iron Man figure packaging. Here on the back of the package, we have now looked at all the figures. We are on Captain America. Then we'll take a look at Abomination here in a minute, or a few minutes. Next video, the bio for Captain America reads, injected with an experimental super soldier serum, Steve Rogers has the peak potential of strength, endurance, and dexterity. So, pretty generic for Captain America, I guess, but nothing specific to the video game. So we shall see. Let's open them up. Okay, and here is the Captain America figure out of the package, and you know what? I was wrong. This figure is actually pretty good. The only things that I don't like about it are these shoulder pads, which really stick out. But you know what? Having it in hand, it's actually pretty good. So there I go, making assumptions on things before I even take the figure out of the package. So stupid me. Anyway, let's take a closer look at the figure and see some of the good things about it and definitely what is bad about it. Okay, so here's a closer look at the Captain America figure. Now, one of the things that really stood out to me that I didn't like, and I'm looking at it a lot more closely now, is it looks like the head was blue plastic and then the skin tone painted over it. It looked like some of that blue was fading through, but upon really looking at it, it's basically Hasbro giving him the digital print of a 5 o'clock shadow, because it's not over the entirety of his face, but more kind of shaped to be like where a beard would have been. So that's pretty cool. And of course the eyes are the digital print because it is based on the video game. So video game and movies are going to get that treatment, whereas the comic figures are not going to get that treatment. So that's pretty cool. These shoulder pads are really bulky and really stand out. I don't like those. Overall, the design of Captain America I didn't care for the video game. In figure form, it's not nearly as bad. There are a couple of things. So like the gray portion or white portion, I guess it kind of is. It looks a little bit odd why he would have that color on the sleeve. I don't mind it, but I've seen a couple of people comment on that, like on Instagram, but not a big deal for me. We get a little bit kind of a brownish red straps in there, and then for the shoulder pads as well. The only red really in the figure are just going to be 3 red lines right here in the middle of the torso. Other than that, not a whole lot really else going on. Paint apps are minimum. We get a silver star with a little bit of a kind of a grayish color for the padding there, and then along this collar piece. But not a whole lot going on. A little bit of silver right there where the shield will port in. We get these like cargo pants, so we got pockets going there, and then we have these huge knee pads which go over there, and I guess it would be kind of straps that would go around and kind of hold the knee pads in place, but they didn't sculpt any straps or anything like that, so that's a little bit odd. And then we have these gray boots. But it all looks pretty good. We get the American flag there, American flag on the other side. It looks good. I don't have any complaints with it. I think the blue, it just looks okay. I think it could have been maybe a darker blue or not as bright, where it just looked kind of odd in figure form. If we're going for a realistic look anyways, but it does look good. I forgot silver on the belt buckle there. But overall, it actually does look really good. One weird thing about the shield, and I don't know what it is, but here is the shield. So it's it's cross between comic and movie, so it is a brand new sculpt and everything. Nice silver paint on there, a little bit of blue paint, but the inside, so we get this damn clip and peg system that we get with all the other shields that always breaks, so I'm not even going to put it onto his arm. But I don't know what else this stuff is going on in there. Usually we just get that clip that's onto the shield itself, but there's a lot going on here, and I don't know what the purpose of all of this is. It's like a soft rubbery material that's in here, but really it serves no purpose because you can port the shield into his back, and none of those portions are going to end up touching the figure at all. So not really sure what the point of that was. If you want to clip it onto his arm, which I'm going to do very carefully onto his wrist, those portions aren't going to touch his arm either, so I don't know what the point of that was. And you can see the clip isn't even all that useful because it doesn't stay on his wrist. So that's something kind of interesting, and I don't I'm not going to clip it onto the arm, onto that forearm pad there. Just not going to do it. You can use the peg and you can actually get him to hold it into his right hand. He comes with the trigger finger hand, no guns or anything, so he can hold the shield and do that. But that's all I'm going to do, so be very careful with that clip. Now let's see his articulation. Okay, so articulation for Captain America. He can look down like so, and he can look up like so. You just really have to kind of work that hinge going in there. You get a rotation, of course. There is some pivot going on in there. Get the shoulder to go up. Careful of this pad. You want it to make sure it goes over that shoulder, so you can get the shoulder up as high as you can. That's actually all you're going to get it to go up. Get a full rotation. There is an upper bicep swivel right under that shoulder pad there. You get a double jointed elbow, which gives you a little bit more than 90 degrees going on there. Wrists swivel, and they do both hinge. We get an ab crunch. So here's another thing that I don't like. The paint just stops for that ab crunch. So you crunch it back, there's nothing going on back there. But it does go back pretty far. Going forward, hardly anything at all, but again, the sculpt just stops. Not that there's paint back there anyway, so I guess that's a little bit going forward, not a whole lot. We do get a waist swivel in there, and the belt kind of moves around with it, and you can see that the way it's sculpted to fit on there. But you can move that around. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that much, which isn't a huge amount. It's decent. Leg does go back some. You get an upper thigh cut there. You get a double jointed knee, which works well. There is a boot swivel right at the boot, the top of the boot, so you get that. Ankle pivot, so it goes down that far. Goes up only slightly. Ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So decent articulation, and definitely not the greatest, but it is decent. Here is the GamerVerse figure next to Stan Lee, and I wonder if they're going to give Stan Lee a cameo in the video game. You know, maybe not a talking cameo, just, you know, you can see him. We shall see if that's going to happen. Here is Captain America next to the comic Marvel Now Captain America and the Infinity War Captain America. And you can see, I guess, kind of the inspiration across them and the look and the tactical look for this Captain America figure. I would have liked a blue similar to this one, so a darker blue instead of this brighter blue. But again, I'd have to, based on the video game, it's probably going to make more sense. You know, it's to get these figures much earlier than the game, since the game was supposed to release around now. Just kind of throws some things off. But it is a better figure than I thought it was going to be at first. So again, we'll have to wait for the game. Okay, and here's Captain America with our other GamerVerse figures, and you can see the Iron Man and Ms. Marvel from the video game itself, and then just as an added, here is the Spider-Man one. You can see Captain America is in between the size, so taller than Ms. Marvel, but shorter than Iron Man by just a little bit. So good size comparisons. Let's wait for the video game to come out, and I think based on the trailer, it looks like Captain America is actually going to die. So why would we get a Captain America figure if he's not going to be in the game, which I'm sure that's going to be a swerve and something's going to happen, but we shall see. Now it's for my final thoughts. Okay, so my final thoughts on the figure. I kind of feel stupid now for really hating on the figure before actually having it out of the package in my hand and messing with it. It is much better than I had given it credit for. I still don't like these shoulder pads, which really stick out really far. I get the struggle of being able to do that realistically without it looking funny. I mean, this is the only way they could do it unless it's part of the sculpt itself, and then it may not be really as effective and serve its purpose. So I completely understand, and I get it. So shame on me. The figure is pretty good. I really have to wait for the video game to probably grow and even more of an appreciation for these figures. You know, when the Spider-Man GamerVerse figure came out, the game was already out. The figure came out way after the game, which I think Hasbro dropped the ball on. It should have released at the same time. Here we have these ones much earlier because the game got delayed, so it's just one of those things. You know, hopefully, again, the game will be great. I'm not a big gamer, but I will be picking up the game. I have it on pre-order already. You know, we have these three figures, the Ms. Marvel, Iron Man, Captain America. Abomination is part of the game. We're going to have the Outback Hulk figure that's coming. That's GameStop exclusive, so that'll be one that's pretty interesting. The Star Boost armor Iron Man looks amazing. That's a Target exclusive. It's kind of odd that we don't have a Walmart exclusive for that figure, which I wouldn't be surprised if one randomly gets announced and we end up having one. Who it would be, no clue, but I can see that happening. But you guys let me know down in the comments below what you think of this figure. Are you picking it up? Or are you passing on it? Especially since it doesn't actually have a piece for the Abomination Build-A-Figure. But you guys let me know. If you guys liked the video, please hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you haven't already done so. And as always, thank you for watching.